So speaking of the interviewer panels, I'm curious that do you have like one panel per hiring team, or do you have like a shared panel across the entire org or team? Kathleen, maybe you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, we do centralized hiring, and I feel pretty strongly that there's a lot of benefits to it. So what we have is a shared interviewer resource across the entire engineering org. So across all sort of 300 roles that we have. And then we have senior leaders who are designated as hiring managers, but again, they're mostly hiring into a general pool of individuals that we will then match to teams. This is a little bit different for particular senior roles. So if I'm hiring a director, I might actually be the hiring manager for it, but I can still have, I don't necessarily have only my team doing that interviewing, and I would actually potentially leverage other hiring managers. It has an obvious downside that, you know, if you're hiring someone to a general pool, you maybe have less ability to advocate for, oh, this is a T-shaped candidate, but I think they'll work really well on my team. So it does require everyone in that position to be aware of what teams exist at the company and what kind of strengths and weaknesses might play in those different spots. You know, there might be some teams that really do well with systems interviewer, people who are really good at systems. Other teams might do really good with data engineers. And so there is some need to do that, but it allows so much standardization, and also means that the teams that are on fire aren't asked to then take on the extra load of getting themselves not on fire, which I think is a really important benefit.
So I do have a follow-up question there, like in terms of the matching process, right? And we all know that time to hire is like a measurement, like very important. Like some candidates only in the market for like 2 to 4 weeks, right? Once the time's gone, the candidate's gone from the market, and adding a team matching process in between definitely adds the time there. So is there any tips on how you can manage that process to make it very efficient?
Well, for us, we extend the offer simultaneously with team match, and the team match can potentially happen after they arrive at the company. So it's a little bit candidate preference. So for very senior engineers who have a very particular skill set, they might need to match before they join, but otherwise we actually do a post-hiring team match process. And this is something you can get away with when you have a lot of open headcount, and less so when you have very little open headcount.
I see. Vinithra, what about the panel process?
So at Airtable, the only streams that we have are based on skill sets, so full stack, front end, or back end. And so your interview panels themselves will be based off of that. The matching happens at the start. So right from the sourcing, we try and decide which team is a candidate interested in, and the team is also is a good fit. This is based on like our priority of recs. But this isn't a tight match right at the beginning. Over the course of the interviews, especially sometimes, you know, there are a few recs, all those recs get filled up by the time the interview, like the on-site is done. So either for that reason or the candidate's preference changes over time, we can revisit the team matching thereafter. And so we do have a good system in place. Like we have understandings with the different groups and the recruiters involved to be able to do these quick, they understand when a team has openings and they can move people around pretty quickly. So to your point, yes, we try not to spend any time as part of that.
I see. So it seems like in this case, the candidate have some indications or hints on which team he or she will be on, right? And in Kathleen's case, it's just like, if I were a candidate, I have no idea which team I'll go into, but I know that I'm going, it's going to be like one of the engineering teams like within Flatiron Health. And then only until like, oh, I passed the interview, then I can pick and choose.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, things change really fast. So an opening that exists the day you started interviewing may not exist the day your offer is extended. And so that is part of the equation here too, is that, you know, when things change rapidly, you need to be able to adapt rapidly.